It started off as one of those nights that feels meaningless while you're living it. The kind you don't think you'll remember. The kind that ends up changing everything. There were 4 of us. Me, Jake, Ryan, and Liam. We'd known each other for years. Not the emotional, we talk about our feelings type of friendship. More like the we roast each other, waste time, and show up when it matters kind. That night, we had just left a roadside diner about 30 minutes outside town. It was late, past midnight. The kind of late where even the highway feels abandoned. Ryan was driving. He always insisted on driving. Said it made him feel in control. Jake sat up front, scrolling endlessly on his phone, occasionally laughing at something none of us could see. Liam was in the back with me, half asleep but still arguing whenever he had the energy. The road cut through a forest that stretched for miles. No houses, no lights. Just trees pressing in from both sides like walls. At night, it didn't feel like a place people should be. But we'd driven through it plenty of times. Nothing ever happened. Until that night, Ryan slowed the car slightly. At first, I didn't notice. It was subtle, just enough to make the engine hum differently. Then he said, "Yo, what the hell is that?" There was something in his voice. Not fear, not yet, just confusion. We all looked up. At first, it didn't make sense. My brain tried to turn it into something normal. A sign, a shadow, maybe someone standing by a broken down car. But then the headlights caught it properly, and everything snapped into focus. It was a clown, standing just off the side of the road, still, watching us. The first thing that felt wrong wasn't the outfit. It was the stillness. People don't stand like that. Not in the middle of nowhere. Not at this hour. His clothes were faded like they'd been washed too many times, or not washed at all. The colors were dull, soaked into something darker. His face was pale. Too pale. And his smile, it wasn't exaggerated like a costume. It was tight, controlled, like it was holding something back. "Okay, that's not funny," Liam said quietly. Jake chuckled. "Relax, it's probably some guy filming TikToks or something." "Out here?" I said, "in the middle of nowhere." No one answered that. The clown didn't move, didn't wave, didn't react to the car at all. Then slowly, very slowly, he took a step backward, into the trees, and disappeared. The car went silent. Not literally, the music was still playing, but none of us were listening anymore. Ryan tapped the brakes. Then, without asking, he pulled over. "What are you doing?" I said immediately. He leaned forward, staring into the darkness where the clown had been. "You saw that, right?" "Yeah," Liam said. "And that's exactly why we should keep driving." Jake laughed. "Come on, don't be like that. That was weird, yeah, but also kind of funny." "Funny?" I turned toward him. "In what world is that funny?" "In the we're gonna regret not checking it out world," he replied. Ryan smirked. That was all it took. He turned off the engine and opened the door. That was the moment everything shifted. The air outside felt colder than it should have. Not freezing, not even particularly chilly. Just wrong. Like stepping into a room where the temperature doesn't match the rest of the house. We used our phone flashlights as we stepped toward the trees. "Hello?" Jake called out, his voice echoing faintly between the trunks. No response. "All right, clown guy, show yourself," Ryan added, trying to sound amused. Still nothing. We stepped deeper. Leaves crunched underfoot. Branches snapped lightly. Every sound felt exaggerated. The forest smelled damp, earthy, old. "Guys," Liam said, quieter now. "We should go back." "Relax," Ryan replied. "He's probably just hiding, waiting to scare us." "Or waiting for us," I muttered. No one acknowledged that. Then, movement. A flash of red. "There," I pointed. We all saw it. The clown, standing between 2 trees ahead of us. Closer now, and clearer. He didn't run, didn't react. He just turned and walked deeper into the forest. Not fast, not slow. Just enough to make sure we could follow. Something about that moment should have stopped us. something instinctive, something human. But it didn't. Ryan took a step forward. Jake followed, then me, then Liam. And just like that, we were being led. The deeper we went, the quieter everything became. No wind, no insects, no distant sounds. It wasn't gradual, it just stopped. Like someone had muted the world. "Do you hear that?" Liam whispered. "Hear what?" Jake asked. "Exactly." We stopped walking. The silence pressed in around us. Heavy, unnatural. I turned back and felt my stomach drop. Guys, there was no road, no headlights, no sign we had ever come from anywhere. Just trees. Every direction looked the same. "Okay," Jake said, forcing a laugh. "This is getting old." Ryan didn't respond. He was staring ahead. We followed his gaze. The clown was closer now, standing completely still, watching us, his head tilted slightly, like he was curious or amused. "Why is he doing that?" Liam whispered. No one answered. Then, a sound, a laugh, but not from him, not from anywhere specific. It echoed through the trees, low, distorted, layered, like multiple voices laughing at once, and his mouth never moved. "Run." This time I knew I said it. We didn't argue. We didn't hesitate. We turned and ran. Branches tore at our clothes. Roots caught our feet. The ground felt uneven, like it was shifting beneath us. The laughter followed. Closer. Too close. "Don't look back," Liam shouted. But Jake did. And everything broke. His scream cut through the forest, sharp, terrified, real. I turned instinctively and saw something I still don't fully understand. The clown wasn't running. He was just there, closer than he should have been. His arms stretched out unnaturally, too long, too thin, and it wrapped around Jake. Jake didn't even have time to fight. He was pulled backward, into darkness, gone. Just like that, we didn't stop. We couldn't. The forest seemed to shift around us. Trees appeared where there weren't any before. Shadows moved when we weren't looking directly at them. At one point, I swear I saw the clown again, standing ahead of us, even though he had just been behind. It didn't make sense. Nothing did. Then suddenly, we stumbled out onto the road. The car was exactly where we left it. Engine off, doors closed, like nothing had happened. We got inside in silence. Ryan fumbled with the keys, dropped them once, twice, finally got the engine started. We drove fast. No one spoke for a long time. When we finally did, it was Liam. "We're going back," he said. "No," I said immediately. "We can't just leave him." "You think he's still there?" I snapped. "You think that thing just let him go?" Silence. Ryan kept driving. Faster. The police didn't believe us. Of course they didn't. 4 guys. Late night. Forest. Missing friend. We sounded insane. They searched anyway. For hours. Then days. They found nothing. No footprints. No signs of struggle. No Jake. 3 nights later, I got a message from Jake. At least from his phone. It was a video. Shaky, dark, barely visible. Heavy breathing filled the audio. Then a whisper. "Please." The camera turned, and there he was. The clown. His face clearer than it should have been. What stayed with me wasn't just what we saw in that video. It was what didn't make sense. The way the clown's mouth moved, but the voice didn't match. That wasn't just creepy. It was wrong on a deeper level. Like watching a badly synced video, except this wasn't lag or bad audio. It felt intentional. Like whatever that thing was, didn't fully understand how to be what it was pretending to be. The words came out delayed, stretched, layered over each other. Almost like multiple versions of the same sentence were being spoken at once, but slightly out of sync. "You came so far," not said once, but many times, stacked, whispered, echoed, and none of them quite lined up with the movement of its lips. That's what makes it hard to forget, because it suggests something disturbing. It wasn't speaking. It was replaying. Then there was Jake. That one frame. That one horrifying glimpse. People think fear looks like screaming, panic, movement. It doesn't. Not always. What we saw on Jake's face wasn't fear. It was absence. His eyes were wide, yes, but not reactive, not focused, not searching. Just open, like whatever made him him had already been removed. And his body was still there. That's the part that keeps coming back to me. Not that he was taken, but that he might not have died. At least not in the way we understand it. Because the more I thought about it, the more it felt like that clown didn't just grab him. It replaced something, or copied something, or took something that couldn't be seen on camera. Something behind the eyes. And then there's the way it looked into the camera. Directly. Not like it noticed it. Like it knew it would be there. Like the video wasn't an accident. Like it was meant to be sent to us. You came so far. That line matters. Because it wasn't random. We did go far. Not just physically. We followed. We chose to keep going. Step by step. Ignoring every instinct telling us to stop. And that's when it starts to feel less like we were victims and more like we were being guided. Think about it. It didn't run. It didn't chase us out of the car. It didn't jump at us or try to scare us away. It showed itself, then stepped back, then showed itself again, closer each time. Just enough to keep us curious, just enough to pull us deeper. Like a hook, and we took the bait every single time. And when we realized something was wrong, when we turned to run, that's when it changed. That's when it stopped leading and started taking. Jake wasn't random. That's another thing that doesn't sit right. He was the one who laughed first, the one who said we should follow, the one who leaned into it, almost like he responded the strongest, like he was the most open. And maybe that's all it needed. So close. Those were the last words in the video. And they're worse than they sound, because they don't feel like a threat. They feel like a measurement, like we almost understood something, or almost reached something, or almost became something. That's the part that really gets under your skin. The idea that this wasn't just an attack, it was a process. And then the messages started. Not real ones, not exactly, but close enough. The first time it happened, I thought I imagined it. I woke up in the middle of the night. No reason, no sound. And I just knew something was wrong. You ever get that feeling? Like your brain wakes you up before your body understands why? I reached for my phone. The screen was black, but for a split second, I saw a notification. Just one, from Jake. No preview, no text, just his name. Then it disappeared. Screen went back to normal. No messages, no alerts, nothing. I told myself it was a dream. It had to be. But then it happened again and again. Always the same. Always late. Always just for a second. And here's the part I don't like admitting. Every time it happens, there's a moment, a very small moment, where I want to open it, where I feel this pull, like curiosity mixed with something else, something heavier, something that feels familiar. Not like I'm receiving a message, but like I'm remembering one. That's when I started to understand something worse than fear. Something quieter, more patient. That thing in the forest, it doesn't need to chase. Because it doesn't operate on urgency. It doesn't panic. It doesn't react. It waits. And waiting means it has time. Time to learn. Time to observe. Time to understand how people think. How we hesitate, how we justify bad decisions, how we convince ourselves to take one more step. It doesn't drag you in, it makes you walk. And once you do, once you cross whatever line exists in that place, you don't just leave with fear. You leave with something else, something quiet, something that stays, a connection. That's what the messages feel like, not communication, connection. like a thread that never fully broke. And maybe that's why the voice didn't match the mouth. Because it's not using a voice. Not really. It's using memory, fragments, pieces, trying to rebuild something human out of something that isn't. Jake might still be there, or something shaped like him. Something that remembers just enough to imitate, just enough to reach out, just enough to say, "Come back." And the worst part, I don't think it's lying, because whatever that place is, whatever exists in that forest, it doesn't feel finished. It feels like something incomplete, something trying to become whole. And maybe that's what so close meant. Not that we were close to escaping, but that it was close to understanding. Close to becoming something more convincing, more real. And one day, when the voice matches the mouth, when the messages stop glitching, when everything lines up perfectly, I don't think it'll need to wait anymore. Because at that point, you won't feel fear. You won't hesitate. You won't question it. You'll just open the message. And when you do, you won't be following a clown into the forest anymore.